NFL fans, that time is finally here. It is finally Super Bowl time, which is good and bad. That means our time here together may be a little sad. We'll have to extend that somehow. But I'm Jeremy the Impact York from Impact Media. He's my good buddy Daniel Snyder. This is the NFL playoff Super Bowl extravaganza. Insert your favorite word here. Daniel, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. Apparently, my front yard is in better condition than the practice field that they put the 49ers on. So
UCLA, right?
was it that? I don't know. That I don't know. They said, "Hey, good
I
luck,
think it's
guys. Here you go."
UCLA's. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, but you know, we're gonna win regardless. Wait, that's not my pick yet.
Yeah, when he says we, I mean he means us in general. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the same way that Freddie Mercury said, "We are the champions." He's not talking about winning a trophy. He's saying that us here on Earth,
Us
we are the
as human
champions.
beings, as human
Yes,
beings. Could you see how
yes.
beautiful that beautiful sunset in your background? I see that you're in San Francisco. Are you going to be
I'm in a
making your
lot of
way
places.
towards? I know last week. I kind of feel like last week you should have been in San Francisco, and this week you should have been in uh,
In Vegas.
Vegas, but you switched it up. Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay.
There we go.
Uh, that looks like, you know what? That some of that is Vegas. Yeah,
Yeah, it's that's scary right there.
I like that. I like that. That's a fun house.
Yeah. The theme of tonight. Like I said, always know most things I do are on purpose. Let's start right there with this. Talking about, as always, if you want to question, comment, suggestion, rating, review, subscribe to this show, you can do so. The subscribe button is in one of these places. I don't know where it is on the screen, honestly, but impact underscore media underscore our hockey channel, board check 99 for all our hockey content. And Daniel has his own streaming page as well that I will let you say the name of because I forgot the numbers again.
Yeah, it took me a minute. It's Daniel Snyder 8361. It's YouTube. Put all those together. It's SNYDER, just in case you don't know. And watch me play Call of Duty. Recently they've released season 2, I believe it is, or something. They've released something new, so so you got a little new, just a couple new maps to watch me shoot people on. And the um, the baseball game, the yearly baseball game is coming out next month. So I will be starting day one of Diamond Dynasty with it. This will be the first time I've ever did my entire Diamond Dynasty, and I'm gonna do it this year. So yeah, look forward to that.
And he will be the New York Mets, and it will be glorious.
Mm, no, I'm probably gonna be. I usually call myself the backyard milfs. That is my
There you go.
team.
There you go. But as always, check out all our pages. We appreciate the increased traffic because actually, since we started doing this show, I don't know if you've seen increased on yours. I think you have. You've seen more numbers. We've seen more numbers. We definitely appreciate it. We're getting more questions, comments, suggestions, rating, reviews. We're not getting those plates of brownies, but we will drop an address somewhere soon on where to send those regular brownies, guys. We don't get into extracurricular. We're not Willie Nelson fans that far into it.
I'll take some of the extra ones.
Okay, there you go. But I can't condone those activities. So, if you do it off the show, that's fine. But
Oh yeah.
just regular
Hey,
cookies, we'll take those too.
and you know what? I'm going to do a quick shout out because I know he's going to end up watching it. Jack from my job where I work. I work at
Yeah.
Target. Jack works up there, and he is a regular watcher. He watches us on his way home. He even said that he's curious of your take on. Well, he listens to us on his way home, but he's
There you
curious of
go.
your
There we
take on
go.
the right. He's curious of your take on the Super Bowl. He said he already knows which way. He has an idea which way I'm going. He's like he's curious to see what your take's going to be, and I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
I've actually gotten that. I think only a couple people that I run into on a daily basis actually know kind of what side I'm going to follow in this. But no, let's start by we're going to talk Super Bowl and then we'll get into our picks. We're
Got
going to
you.
try to watch time because we are terrible at time management because we have so
Horrible.
much good things to tell you guys. There's not enough time. So
Yeah.
let's start. As I said last week, I was going to tell you that unless the 49ers are your team, or unless Kansas City is your team, and there's other ones in there. I would say the Steelers are sometimes in this. The Cowboys are definitely considered villains of the league. Unless they're your team, more than likely everybody wants to see you lose, and that's
Yeah.
you get the rivalry sometimes. Saint fans don't like Falcons fans, don't like Carolina fans, don't like Tampa fans. You get that kind of stuff, but no, this is on a whole nother level where if these teams aren't your teams, you're probably rooting against them. So that's why I'm wearing the villain shirt. Shout out Marty Skrull, one of my favorite indie wrestlers, the villain. And I think this is a very villainous or a very villain versus villain, heel versus heel for the wrestling
I
reference
see.
type Super Bowl.
I don't know if I agree with that because I mean, yes and no. If you watch the day one of the Super Bowl when they pulled him out, was communicating with him, that was very, very heavy San Francisco. Like when Travis was actually being talked to, they booed him. I mean, Miss Swift might be a reason, but he stepped back from talking for a second to listen to the boos, and he waved them in, and he said, I like hearing the boos better than I like hearing the cheers. You
Yeah.
heard a lot of Purdy MVP Purdy chants. Um, I'm thinking. Here's the thing: the crowd for the Super Bowl. It's hard to say that there can be a fan favorite because only people with a lot of money can get into that. I believe tickets were on average of $9,000. Suites that holds 27 people was costing $3.5 million.
Dang, we could have got a
They
couple
had,
of those. I didn't know they were that low.
yeah, I didn't want
Dang
to
it.
travel.
You should have went.
I wanted to stay home. But
Okay.
they had lounges going for $200,000. So I think it's going to be a lot of celebrities and people with lots of money. So it's
Yes.
going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't
go
know.
ahead.
It's all right. I know he's your coach, but I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan as well, and he very much does this. And at times there are other ones who do it. They kind of feed into, okay, if that's the way that you're going to kind of view me, then I'm just going to embrace it. Just kind of embrace your inner villain. Kyle Shanahan, when he is at these open press conferences, oh, he's a villain. He wants somebody to bite into him, and he's just going to slam it right back. I really enjoy him at press conferences because he's almost Belichick like, but he's like a lot more personality blooms out. That he's very matter of fact, but Mary just he's gonna bury you with a fact that you didn't think he knew.
Um, I wasn't a fan of Shanahan when we got him because even though I wanted the Falcons to lose that Super Bowl because I'm not a Falcon fan, but also I wanted the Patriots to lose because I'm not a Tom Brady fan. So it's kind of like this game for anybody that's not a 49er Chiefs fan. But he was the reason the Falcons lost. He quit running the ball.
It was a
In
lot
our
of it, yeah.
first oh yeah, that defense had something to do with it too. In our first Super Bowl appearance against the Chiefs, we were up by 10 points with 7 minutes left. We quit running the ball. Hopefully now that he's got Christian McCaffrey, he's like, let's just run it till our legs fall off. But what I like about this game, a positive for the 49ers is that Chris Jones is out.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for the Chiefs, but it's positive for us. I've been looking at our previous games in the playoffs. I honestly believe that the Chiefs don't have a better offense than the Lions. The Lions had the
Agree.
better run game. The
Agree.
Lions had a better wide receiver core.
Yeah.
The Lions, their tight end is a young Kelsey. He is going to get, he is rookie of the year. Oh, no, he's not going to be rookie of the year because CJ I think is going to get that, but he's going to be up there.
Yeah.
That offensive line for the Lions, I feel like might be better than Kansas City's offensive line. But that quarterback, that gum Patrick Mahomes, that
Hey, I
gum
just
Patrick
the phrase
Mahomes.
that pays. I was about to say the phrase that pays, and since nobody wanted to take us up on that was a serious offer for some swag or something last week that we posted. The Undertaker at WrestleMania is has become one of the. I've heard my friends taking it. I was like, you can use that. It's a general statement. It's just a take I come up with, but that Undertaker at WrestleMania thing is almost taking on its own like phenom thing to itself. It's almost the best way to describe it. And right now I'm just defending because you went a lot San Francisco there. That's why I'm kind of defending the other side. I'm not picking a side
Oh, no,
yet.
no, you're good. Yeah, yeah, you're good.
No. I want to make sure people know that. But the phrase that pays, the Undertaker at WrestleMania. If you guys comment under this with the timestamp of when it was, and first time we just said it, when I just said it right now, we'll take all the people that did that, we'll put them in a random draw, and we'll send you something. It might be a Target gift card. It
Yeah,
might be, I don't know. It's going to be something. We're going to send you
it might be
something.
an
We're going to shout you out on
Undertaker
the show.
figure.
Maybe. I probably have a couple. I'll probably have to go look for them now. But I do agree that when stacked up against Detroit, Kansas City is the inferior team by far. And I agree with that, the way they line up. But as far as how Kansas City lines up with almost every team they play on paper, they're the inferior team on paper. If this was a Madden video game, they'd be on average 4 to 5 points below the opposite team, except for at quarterback, obviously. But for some reason, they find ways to do it. They will find a way to eventually shut you down long enough to where they pull just ahead. It's kind of a tortoise and the hare thing. You kind of let them hang around long enough, and then they
And
find a way to stop you or slow you up, trip you up,
yeah,
and they just hop ahead and they get that extra little jump to cross the finish line, and it seems that way. So if you're San Francisco, you got to keep foot on the gas. I agree with what you said. If that means running the ball, if that means Debo Samuel has 700 receiving yards, fine. If that's what you have to do to keep them on their heels, and a lot of people say the best thing to do is to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. I say you
yes.
keep him on the field. The longer these drives go, that's taking more time up. You're not giving their defense a chance to do that quick turnaround. So actually, you kind of want Mahomes to go through these long sustaining drives because it's wearing them out.
If that's going to be the case, then we're going to need our defense to look like the second half against the Lions and not the first 6 quarters of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Boza got 2 sacks against the Lions. Nobody else has did anything on that front four. Greenlaw was big in the first against the Packers. Warner is Warner. Um, this is what's got to happen, and I don't understand why teams don't do this when they play the Chiefs. Double Kelsey the entire game. Make him throw it to somebody other than Kelsey. Keep somebody on top. Keep somebody below. If he's going to get it to Kelsey, he's going to have to be precise. We have the 2 linebackers that can force that with
Oh yeah.
Greenlaw and Warner. I say put a cornerback on him. Go 1-to-1 with Rice the entire game. Have Ward or actually, I'd say have Ward on Rice and have one of our safeties watch the top of Kelsey and watch and either a Greenlaw or Warner watching the front of Kelsey and just keep him sandwiched the entire game. Make him if Kansas City beats us without Kelsey, I would tip my cap to him. But if it's because of Kelsey, it's because they dropped the ball. I mean, on the other side, though, Spagnolia's defense is what it is. He is who he is. Shanahan is 0-3 against him. That's a monkey. I know Shanahan wants to get off his back.
That might be King Kong on his back.
Man, I'm telling you. I mean, and he's no scrub. But I feel like I mentioned, Jones not being out there, that's going to hurt them because that was the guy that forced the fumble against Lamar.
Yep.
And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game, to say the least.
Well, and since we both had some fun little stats before we started on this, and I'm glad you just dropped that one because I'm going to bring up the one I did that almost I heard it when I was going down the road. I almost had to pull the car over. I didn't believe it as much, and that's Patrick Mahomes' playoff losses came to Joe Burrow and Tom Brady, and that's it.
And it's funny that you say that because Burrow beating Mahomes put him in that elite status. They was like,
Yeah.
that's the next. He is the next. And when Brady beat Mahomes, there was like, of course, the GOAT beat. To
Yep.
me, he's not the GOAT, but he has the most championships. Um, I
Something to
don't.
be said for that.
You're right. Yeah, I don't. You're right. I don't want Purdy to be considered elite when we beat them. I don't want that. I don't want that to be because um, I feel like that's just a name that's being put.
Hmm.
I don't care. Like um, he's a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I think he's going to be great. He's only in his second year, man. No, why is nobody bringing it up that he's coming off of what wasn't it the Tommy John surgery?
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Yeah, it was a baseball injury. So yeah, I think it's Tommy John.
And that usually takes a baseball pitcher an entire year to come back from. This man came back from it in 6 months, and he's balling. So I just all I want them to do is just give him his flowers. Can we give the man his flowers?
Yeah,
But yeah,
I agree with that. I was trying to figure out what surgery he did have, but
but
it's not responding. There we go.
the I, I like there was a stat or something I had. Oh my God, there wasn't a stat. It was a phrase. Um, I don't know. Oh well, I had it like earlier today. It was on my head, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come up with that. Um, but I don't know. Go ahead. You look at trying to find out what it was. What surgery?
It was Tommy John. Okay, that's what I thought it was. It was the UCL. It's that
Yeah, yeah,
elbow
UCL.
ligament. Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing too: is he could also come back a little faster on that. I'm not taking away from him because it is. I mean, this is like Aaron Rodgers coming back from his Achilles. It's you almost want to know what kind of deal he made at this point. But Tommy John is normally with pitchers because of the way they throw, and it's different how you throw a baseball than a football. So he was actually able to come back on a football stance because all he had to do was change the angle of his arm a little bit, and there's less stress on that ligament. So it could still be recovering right now, but since he does something a little different, he can come back a little faster.
And it hasn't affected his throw. I mean, the man led the league in yards per attempt. He was fifth in the league in passing yards and 20th in attempts. There's let me tell you how many's in that list of people that had 20 or more attempts and but was fifth or higher in the league in yards. How many people's on that list? One, Purdy. He's the only person that's ever done it. And so Rich Eisen gave me that stat.
Kind of Rich Eisen.
I'm a fan of Rich Eisen. I like him. So yeah, I mean, he was top five in everything. Let me get your take on. Do you think? Because I've had this discussion with a couple people. Do you think Lamar, his numbers say MVP?
I mean, he started to pass more, which was my argument against him the whole time. I always thought he was a running quarterback that could pass as opposed to a passing quarterback that could run. Um, I'd
You know
say
how many
his run numbers say it, yes, but the whole package, no. The only reason I consider him an MVP is I say if you take him off the Ravens, are they near as good? Do they win near as many games? And they don't because he has saved their bacon a handful of times.
Well, in that case, let's give Mahomes the MVP this year. Then
Or
let's
Purdy. I
give
mean, I
um.
McCaffrey I think actually should be it, but
I'd be okay if they share it, just like they did
yeah,
that year. But I mean, but um, Lamar had less than 25 touchdowns, dude. You cannot
yeah.
give and
Well,
he wasn't.
they're a run first team. I mean, you can't base that off the last game they played because they did like I don't know 16 total runs and they led the league in rushing and rushing touchdowns and all kind of first downs by the rush. And yet for some reason they got in that last playoff game and decided they didn't want to run the ball anymore. They got Shanahan-itis or something. I don't know.
I feel like like I said it in the game. I feel like the MVP talk and the light and everything got too bright for
Mhm.
Lamar, and that's
Yep.
another reason why I was like maybe, but he'll probably end up getting it. I'll disagree with it. And I'm not saying give it to Purdy. I'm not saying give it to McCaffrey. I'm just saying don't give it to Lamar. I'd say give it to Josh Allen for all I care. But yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a regular
that was my
season
take on
award.
that.
You could give it to Dak Prescott. I mean, that's when he performs this regular season. So I mean, you could do that.
Legit. Actually, I'd say I would be okay with Dak getting it before Lamar because Dak put up the numbers.
Yeah.
It just come playoff time. Yeah.
Playoff time, he was probably on this roller coaster
In the
behind me
fun
here or
house.
something.
Yeah, in that fun
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, let's go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go ahead and go I'm gonna go ahead and go with my little espionage here I have on,
Mhm.
and it's gonna tell you my pick. I'm gonna go
Mhm.
ahead and get to it. As we have mentioned multiple times, The Undertaker, that this is Kansas City, this is Patrick Mahomes. In round one, The Undertaker faced the Miami Dolphins or the Kansas City. A young Shawn Michaels, Tua, finished him.
Okay.
In round two, he faced his rival, Josh Allen, a guy that he's played multiple times, almost like a brother.
Yeah.
Finished him. And then round three, they thought, can Lamar do it? Lamar couldn't do it. Roman Reigns, I'm sorry, maybe next time. Maybe next time, Lamar. He's walking away sad. Hey, but hey, you get an MVP,
Hey, you're related to The Rock. I mean, don't hang your head.
right? But now he faces Brody. And we know what happened when Undertaker faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
And if you don't, I think you can see the foreshadowing there. So you're saying that the 49ers are the next big thing.
Next big thing. They're already talking about signing Ayuk to a long-term contract. Um, I've been hearing a lot of talk about if Purdy wins, they've got to give him a $200 million contract. No, they don't. No, they don't.
I don't think he wants that.
Um, I don't either. I don't think it's about the money to him. Everybody wants to get paid, but I don't think it's about the money. If I feel like Purdy would do what Tom Brady, give me less, spend the money around me, help me
Mhm.
stay good. That's the type of person I feel that he is. That's why I'm glad he's my quarterback. I say we will win this weekend. If we lose, I've been telling everybody, man, if we win, I'm gonna cry like a baby. I'm gonna cry like a baby. I ain't seen this stuff happen since '95. If we lose, I'm probably gonna cry like a baby then too. It'll just be two different cries. Um, the only thing that I hate about if we lose is that Purdy would get so much hate. You know it's gonna say, well, we knew he wasn't the guy. And if we win, it's gonna be that defense and Christian McCaffrey did it. So I'm going for the 49ers. I'm picking
Okay.
us. We're going to win it.
And see, the thing is a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's just homering out because that's his team." It's like, no, no, no. Listen to what he just said. He made the case. You really didn't sway it to sound like you're a San Francisco fan. That's part of what I knew was going to be great about having you on the show and everything. Um, I mean, no matter what, we're going to have our hands up in the air, no matter what kind of time's left on the clock or anything like that. But great inside jokes we have here. We really do. We'll be here all week. Um,
Love it.
what kind of score are you looking at?
It's going to be the opposite of what Patrick Willis said. I watched the Patrick Willis interview today, and he said if the 49ers win, it'll be a close game. If the 49ers lose, it's going to be because the Chiefs blew them out. I'm doing it the other way. If we win, we're going to control them. We will beat them bad. If we lose, it'll be a close game. So I'm saying, and when I say beat them bad, I'm saying by 10 points or more. If you beat Mahomes in Kansas City by 10 points, that's bad to them.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm saying 34's in my head and 21's in my head. But I'm also seeing 27-17. So 27-17 or 34-21. That's kind of what I'm seeing there.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
35-21, something like that.
I kind of like some of the stuff you said there. That I do think that if you guys win, it is by 10 plus points, and I think if you lose, it's by something very very close. That being said, before I even get into any analysis, I think this game comes down to the kickers, and
Oh
that
my
tells you I
God!
think it's going to be
Please don't
close.
say that.
And we're gonna get, hey, pride of Michigan. I am a giant Wolverine fan since birth, pretty much. I love Jake Moody. I love Moody, but
Man, oh my God.
Harrison Butker used to kick on the flats right next to the varsity for Georgia Tech, and he is outside of Justin Tucker in Baltimore. Harrison Butker is probably the best kicker in the league. It's unbelievable, only because Will Lutz, my good buddy Will Lutz, is in Seattle, and they just don't kick a lot. But I think this comes down to kickers, and I think Butker's going to put them ahead. Um, we're looking 31-28, 31-27. I think right around that mark. I think it's the over under 45. I say take the over. It's just going to be just over 45 points. Both these teams can score. I do think that you guys are going to dominate them. I'm not sure which half, but if it's the second half, then I think you're going to win like you did last week. If you dominate the first half, don't discount
It's gonna
Andy
be
Reid
scary. Yeah,
pulling
yeah.
some the rabbits out of his hat and out of his ears and who knows where else. And it's just you're not going to ever see that play sheet again. That whatever he uses to if he does it to beat you, he's gonna every play that he's never run before, he's gonna run it, and him and Mahomes are just gonna find some crazy way. As long as their receivers line up. If they don't line up right, that's a whole different thing. But I mean, the lights will be the brightest at the Super Bowl. I do feel like if you can get McCaffrey going early, and complement that with Debo, I think you're gonna really give their front seven a lot to have to deal with. And if you can do that, that'll open up your pass game. And we all know that Brett Purdy, as we call him, he can bury you deep. I feel like this is going to come down, like I said, to the kickers. And I feel like the Chiefs late in this game, the last couple drives are good. That defense is going to find a way to at least stall you out, make you kick a field goal, or if not, turn over the ball somehow. They're going to do it without Chris Jones. That's going to be incredible. I couldn't tell you who's going to do it because he'd be the only one I'd come up with. But somebody, maybe it's somebody we've never heard of, is going to make a play. And
Usually how it
I
happens.
think Harrison Butker is going to put one through the uprights. And my good buddy John here at Impact Media, I'm going to be watching the game alongside him. He's a diehard Georgia Tech fan. We're probably going to have to, tie some cement shoes to him or something like that so he don't jump through the ceiling. But I got the Kansas City Chiefs, and I had the 49ers probably on Monday. On Tuesday, I flipped to Kansas City, and I have not been able to argue myself out of that camp since. Not enough. It might be 55-45. It
De-
might be 51-49.
defending
It's really
champions.
close in my head. These are by far the two best teams. I wish they could play multiple years. Maybe they play again next year. I just feel like the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and you guys are not Brock Lesnar, and that's the best way to put it. Maybe you are because I didn't see Brock Lesnar being Brock Lesnar until he was Brock Lesnar. They
Man,
kept saying
yeah.
he's the next big thing, and then he buried Kurt Angle, and he buries Stone Cold, and just
And
starts
he
on a tear. And you
disappeared.
go, well,
Yeah. But
well,
he disappeared for a
he
good
won't
little
play
bit and
for
he
the
came back.
Vikings. Most people that play for the Vikings disappear. So
Yeah, yeah. And he went to UFC and became a beast.
except when he faced Frank Mir. Shout out Frank Mir.
Yeah.
But I think we got like 4 minutes left in this thing. I think this is going to be really good, though. I think we're finally going to get one of those Super Bowls that are just fantastic to watch. A lot of them you could tune out by the fourth quarter. I don't, you don't, but you'll be invested the whole time. I may have to check on you. I don't think I'll be far from you where we're both watching the game, so I may have to do a bro check here and there, make sure you're all right. But this is going to be
Yeah.
fun. I can't wait to talk about it. Whenever we do after this, we'll have to figure that out.
We're
Next
doing
week is
the
kind of
I mean we
chaotic.
okay. Yeah, I'm not saying if we can do it next Thursday, if not next Thursday, we'll do it. We'll find figure it out. I'm off every Thursday, Friday. Just let me know. We'll make it
Yeah,
happen.
we'll figure something out. But man,
A
this
little
I honestly like villain versus villain. I grew up I liked guys like that guy behind me, and
I like the
I
Joker.
mean still a fan of his nemesis, big fan and all, but the Ric Flairs of the world. I always kind of liked the guys that colored outside the lines because, well, I've never been one that's real good at coloring in the lines. So it just having a villain versus villain, two teams that are usually booed at. I mean, Kelsey's gotten used to getting booed at. This is probably the worst he's gotten booed at since like 1989 or something like that. But
Yeah,
other than that, this is going
that's
to
a
be a
Taylor
lot of
Swift
fun.
comment.
So I had to sneak one in there somewhere.
I like that. I like that.
You beat me to the first one,
Um,
so I had to sneak one. But we got about 2 minutes left, so I'll have a final word to you.
I was gonna talk about a little something different.
Mhm.
I know you're a big wrestling fan. I've been kind of looking at stuff. I'm starting to see maybe a comparison of 2014 to 2024 when it comes to WrestleMania. You've got the Universal Champion that's been around for a while, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns. You got the guy that comes from movies coming back to join in the show, Batista 2014, The Rock this year. And then you've got the guy everybody wants to be the champion in Daniel Bryan in 2014, Cody Rhodes in 2024. Is there going to be a triple threat match like at 2014 at WrestleMania? I could see that happening. Why not? You don't see that happening.
I'm gonna have to have you on the wrestling show next week because we need a lot more than a minute and a half to talk about this.
Got you.
I am very polar opposite of what the public seems to think is going to happen, and like I said, it's going to take me a lot longer than a minute and a half to explain it.
All right. Well, that's good. That's
There
that's,
is
that's a
there
good
is
little
a
lead
longer
into.
story. Chris Jericho is famous by saying, "Quit judging it just on today. Know that in wrestling, the story arc is longer than one match. It's like you got to see where this can go down the road, where the bigger payoff is, and things like that. And that a lot of times will kind of let you know what direction they're going. And then sometimes they're just, I don't know, maybe they're Willie Nelson fans, and you can't predict what they're doing, but." I think in this
I ain't gonna
case,
do it.
there's a longer and bigger payoff coming, and it's not WrestleMania.
Wow. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll have to get to maybe if there's a chance next week, we'll start off with talk about the Super Bowl and end with with some wrestling.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty of time because you're not gonna want to talk about the game.
Yeah, or I will. We'll see.
I have to throw that shot at the end. But for Daniel Snyder, I am Jeremy the Impact York. This has been Impact Media's NFL Playoff Super Bowl Extravaganza. As always, we do everything for that A right there. And we will see you guys next time because we don't know when that is yet. But until then, deuces, gooses.
All right.